Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at Polestar. Polestar sets sights on 7 new markets for a 2025 EV expansion. Polestar has made its priorities clear in 2024, with their most recent announcement of the retail operations and commercial sites entering 7 new markets in 2025. This includes Asia, Europe, and South America. This is key to the company's long-term success, of course. Polestar also plans to start deliveries of their new models of the premium EVs in late 2024. This includes the Polestar 3 flagship SUV and the Polestar 4 coupe SUV. So at the moment, customers can customize their future cars and place orders online. But I must say, Polestar has already started deliveries of the Polestar 4 in China, and this was started late last year in 2023. So this year is really an expansion throughout Europe for the new models that are being launched and an expansion with the new markets that they're entering in. This is really exciting, but now it gets really better. So for the first time in Polestar's history, the company will be entering France for a commercial driven purpose. This is an area of Europe where Polestar has long awaited to sell vehicles due to their previous complicated legal history with Citroën. The Stellantis family brand includes a wide variety of car companies such as Citroën, and in 2017, the feud began between the two brands. This is directly after Polestar became its own company in mid-2017, after first being a performance developer and racing team for Volvo since 1996. The company then went through a lengthy legal battle in a bid to establish their reasoning on whether or not the Polestar logo was a clear copy of the Citroën logo. Citroën came out as a clear favorite in this legal proceeding, and Polestar was ordered to pay 218,000 US dollars in damages. Polestar was also barred from using their logo in France territories for 7 years. France represents a majority opportunity for Polestar, of course, one of the biggest EV-friendly markets in Europe, similar to that of Germany, UK, Norway, and Sweden. Now, I must say, from my own personal experience, I was quite surprised to see a Polestar vehicle in France when I was there. I believe this might have been last year in 2023. I was quite surprised to see a Polestar vehicle. But then it occurred to me, hold on a minute, I looked at the license plate quickly, and I believe it was a Polestar vehicle from Denmark that happened to drive into France. So up until then, Polestar has not been selling cars in France. They haven't been allowed to. And as you can imagine, this could be a very promising market for the Polestar company. So I'm actually really excited to see Polestar establish themselves in France. I think they will be welcomed with open arms by the customer base of EV enthusiasts. Yes, I absolutely support this. I think France would be a brilliant destination for Polestar. I think it's going to be great that they're expanding not just in Europe, but Asia as well. And that's important. That's really important because this tells you that the company has no intentions of slowing down or giving up in any regards. Despite what many believe, despite the stock price being low, despite the challenges that this company is going through. It's one thing you must admit, and Polestar is very progressive. They're not holding back at all despite the challenges. And that is good because, Polestar, out of many EV companies, they're actually delivering good EV vehicles. Not just good, I'd argue that the Polestar 2 is a great EV vehicle. You rarely hear complaints about this vehicle, and they're quite popular. I happen to believe that with the Polestar 3, the flagship family SUV for Polestar, it's probably the staple of the company, and the Polestar 4 Coupe SUV. I happen to believe that these vehicles are incredibly important to Polestar, obviously. But when you look at it further, you sort of realize that they want to launch these cars with perfection. The last thing that Polestar wants right now is to deal with what Fisker just went through. Fisker is now filing for bankruptcy after the difficulties that they've endured in the last few years getting the Fisker Ocean to market. But the problem started arising even more when they did get the Fisker Ocean to market. The problem is the car had a lot of faults, reviewers were finding faults left, right, and center, and it was captivating for the company in a very bad way, if I must be honest. It sort of boxed them in, gave them no options, lower the demand for Fisker Ocean, and they had to recall the 2023 Fisker Oceans because of there was some software related issues. They had to recall them, but this recall is fixable through software updates. But the more damning issue was, with the Fisker recall, it was a sort of issue that would completely close off power, turn off power off the entire vehicle. That's Not a very nice experience if you just bought a new car for like 60, 70, $80,000. That's not a very nice experience. Honestly, if you bought a car for 20,000, that still wouldn't be an honestly nice experience. That'd still be very, very annoying. And that one experience could change a customer's perspective of a brand forever. So this is what Polestar is trying to avoid. This is what Volvo is trying to avoid with their new electric vehicles, such as the Polestar 3, the Volvo EX90. They're based on the same platform, and they had to delay these vehicles. They were supposed to start production late last year in 2023. They had to delay these vehicles because they wanted to make sure that they had everything perfected. They can't afford for bad press, bad reviews, faulty systems. It is better to delay these vehicles than to have the sort of problems that Fisker is going through at the moment. It really messes with a customer's perspective of a brand. And Polestar being a new company, you don't want that. You want to avoid that at all costs. So when Polestar delayed the Polestar 3, I completely understand it. It was obvious, they want to make sure that these cars are perfect. I would be okay with it if they delayed it for a full year, seriously. And it turns out it is sort of like being delayed for a full year. These vehicles were supposed to be in the hands of customers late last year. They're now going to be in the hands of customers late this year. So it is basically a year's worth of delayed. But because I've been talking to you relentlessly about Polestar, it hasn't felt like a year, has it? So that's all well and good. But it's one thing we can say for sure. There have been plenty of reviews of the Polestar 3. I haven't heard anything negative, anywhere close to the negativity we've seen from the Fisker Ocean. And I guarantee you, the more vehicles Polestar sell of the Polestar 3, Polestar 4, the more reviews we're going to get, the more criticism, the more praise. We're going to get a lot. But Polestar, we want to make sure that we get a lot more praises than criticism. A lot more praises will do great for the company's momentum, great for the team that have been working on these vehicles for years. For years. These vehicles have been in the drawing board for years. And now officially their work is going to be on the road, being driven around. That's a huge accomplishment. So it is a huge undertaking that Polestar has seen himself being brought upon. But I completely understand the need to delay these vehicles and to make it perfect. I'm walking around sometimes, I'm driving around, I'm seeing the Volvo EX30, and wow, that's a beautiful vehicle. I wish we had that. I wish it was a Polestar, but it's a Volvo, so it doesn't matter. They're by the same family brand. It's in the family brand. That's what matters. Sometimes I do wish that the EX30 was the Polestar 4, if I'm being completely honest, because the Polestar 4 is supposed to be a coupe SUV. It's supposed to be a little bit higher off the ground, a little bit more like the Volvo EX30. The Polestar 4 has the body of a sedan, but the interior space of a small SUV. So I've been inside the Polestar 4. I can tell you firsthand that vehicle inside, it is very similar to a big size SUV because they've made it really roomy and really nice and really luxurious. And it's like, wow, really captivating. You know what the Polestar 4 reminds me of? The Neo ET9. Very different price range of vehicles. But the Neo ET9, it's got the body of a sedan, similar to the ET7. But the interior is basically a luxury SUV or a luxury coupe SUV. It's really fascinating. And this vehicle, it reminds me of the Polestar 4 so much because it's like a sedan, but it's higher off the ground, like half coupe SUV, half sedan. It's really fascinating. But the ET9, it definitely takes the cake because this is way more premium, way more expensive. While the Polestar 4 is a bit more targeted towards the lower audience of like 40, $60,000. While the ET9, you're looking at 80, 90, 100 grand. That's the price range you're looking at. So it's a lot more than the Polestar 4. But just in shape, they have those similarities. Now, to continue with our article, Polestar has also set sights on launching its commercial businesses in Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Poland, Brazil, and Thailand, and the brand will utilize a host of distribution partners to achieve its long-term plans. This is all part of launching in the 7 new markets. And the Polestar CEO had a statement to say, and I quote, "Expanding our retail operations with new and existing partners will enable us to reach more customers. Through these partnerships and expansions, we will capitalize on our strong brands and growing model lineup." The quest to support the Polestar brand's core business model has also encouraged new promising hires, such as more recent appointment of Christian Ford as head of commercial. Polestar also led a successful transition as Ander Gustafsson succeeded Gregor Hembro as head of North America, while Gregor transitioned into the head of global sales operation role after leading the Polestar North America business since 2018. The company believes that Anders will bring aboard the right amount of experience after spending 13 years of Volvo Cars, which included 6 years as Senior Vice President of Americas and CEO of Volvo Cars USA. So Polestar is expanding not just in new markets but also with new hires, and it continues. Polestar changes continues to bring surprises, none more noteworthy than the Matt Galvin hire becoming the successor of the UK Managing Director role following Jonathan Goodman's retirement from his position. This is important for many reasons, but one fans online has taken to heart to describe as taking one of Neo's best and brightest, as Matt previously worked for Neo, and he comes with 20 plus years of experience in automotive industry, which includes working with brands such as Volvo Cars and Mercedes-Benz. Stop there as Polestar also hire Marius Haler to succeed Alexandra Horth. Marius previously worked for Jaguar Land Rover, Volvo Cars, and Neo, where he was general manager of Neo Germany and Norway. While it's not uncommon to see companies hiring from another competitor, it is noteworthy as this is common practice throughout many industries, most notably in tech, and most recently with the EV industry. Christian Elfors, Polestar head of commercial, says, and I quote, "I'm delighted to welcome this group of talented and experienced leaders to the Polestar team. Throughout these appointments, we're strengthening our sales team and bringing in additional expertise at a pivotal point in our development as our model lineup expands into 2 new SUVs. That's the Polestar 3, Polestar 4 Coupe SUV. So Polestar is now currently available in 27 global markets, which will rise to 34 in 2025 next year. The brand is introducing the Polestar 3 SUV and Polestar 4 Coupe SUV in 2024, with plans to introduce the awaiting Polestar 5 GT, that's the sedan, in 2026 and onwards, not to mention the Polestar 6 Roadster supercar in 2027 and onwards, I believe. Probably 2026, 2027 and onwards. But that is it for this recent update on Polestar, so I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you in our next video. Peace.